Hello, Regis students. How are you today? Hey, this is lesson 11 on inheritance. So inheritance gets back to the working with classes or object-oriented programming, and um, this is a very straightforward lesson. There's only one lab. The exercises are straightforward. I tried to make the lab not overly involved, but it is important with the work here as we're moving towards the end of the semester that it might take a little bit longer in the lab just as you're piecing things together from the detail, but you're recreating some of the work that's already in here. So it's a very good exercise, and there's a lot of definitions and helpful trees, and I am hoping that this topic will give you the baseline you need in object-oriented programming. And inheritance in itself is that when we have a superclass or we have a parent object, when you go and make an instance, or if you make a subclass, there's sort of like three levels: is superclass, subclass, and instance. But inheritance is that whatever this child class is, that it is going to get from the parent its attributes, its functions, and you can then further customize that amongst your classes. So programmers end up with sometimes a whole series of different classes that are going to do different things, and they might have different attributes or further classifications, or they might even have different methods or different functions of work that they're able to do. So it's a blueprint. The class is a blueprint. And when you make an instance, it's going to inherit from the blueprint, all right? And typically we have a superclass and a subclass, and then from the subclass, sometimes that's when we're making that the lowest level, sometimes referred to as an instance. So here's the basics of what it looks like. Class, animal. I'm going to build an animal object. These are constructors that you're going to learn about here. That constructors are special methods that help an object do its work. So you have to initialize, you might set things to strings or numbers, but all this is doing is saying self. That is a construct that's explained, but it is going to be getting a name. I'm going to have a class animal, and I might name it, giraffe or Fred. So where do we go from here? Well, when we go down to the lowest level, where we have an instance, all right, you can just think of it as its own child class, but you may be going in and adding or overriding different attributes and methods. That is the main item to keep along. So here we created a class animal, the superclass. I have a class dog, my subclass, and then I'm going to have a pet Rex, and he's going to be my instance of the dog class. And the main reason for these types of layerings is when you are adding different features to the classes of what they're going to do. And features meaning characteristics or methods. So a lot of this can come into, for doing calculations. I'm going to have a class that's going to, do summing. I'm going to have a class that's going to do my complex physics work and things like that. So, and you'll see more of these constructors as we go through. We're not training you in all the constructor programming. You just need to know how to initialize. You might have to call, and those are the main ones. So I got some really nice visuals for you as you're going to be going through. I've given you lots of visuals to make this as clear as possible. All right, so you really are not going to have a problem. And so we have a superclass animal, goes to the subclass dog, and then we're going to create a low-level pet, and that's going to be an instance of our class. And so I give you more definitions, some of the nice ASCII tables that we do, but then I get right into a code example for you here. So we're going to see the superclass, if you just get your brain around this, subclass, and then instance. And so I'm going to have the animal. We're going to be able to set its name. It's going to make a sound. Then I'm going to create a dog and a cat. And they're going to go and do something. It won't work if I delete it. And they're going to go woof and meow. And then in my instance, they're going to then speak their woof and meow. So this gets repeated again and again for you. And I also have some other visualizations, so however you're most accustomed to learning should really have you hooked up here. So I'm going to stop with this video, and I'll go on to the next one for some of our training exercises. Basically we use animals and we use fruit in this exercises here today, and have you walk through and repeat the patterns again and again to prepare you so you can do the same work in the lab. So thank you so much for listening. Let's see if this word works good.